This is video tutorial number 20, and in this video we're going to be showing you how to sew on the arms. The pattern does mention pinning the ears and sewing them on, but I've only made one ear, so I need to make another one before I can do that video. So we're going to do the arms. Now it says about the arms, pin, then sew the arms one round below the neck, ensuring they are level. So what that means, we're going to use pins for this. These are some little pins we have in our shop for quite cheap, a couple of pounds, but you can use any sewing pins. So anything in your sewing box, most of us have got pins around, use those. Just makes it nice and easy. You can do it without, but it just makes it simpler. Now we've got our two arms. Now the correct side up, I like this side on the top and that side on the bottom. To me that just looks neater. If you'd rather do it a different day, that's absolutely fine, but I like this side at the top. So what we're going to do is position the arms one round below the neck. So all that means is about a round below. A round is just one of those horizontal rows. So we're going to pin it on. Now I quite like the arms facing forward slightly, like so. If you want them hanging by the sides, that's absolutely fine. It's personal preference where you like them. I like them facing forwards a little bit. It just gives a little bit of a cuter look, so I'm going to do like that. So that's one about a round below, and the back of the arm is two or three rounds lower. So I'm going to put a couple of pins in here and here to hold it in position. You may need to put more in. These are quite big, strong pins, so they do hold it quite easily. So I'm just going to do two. On my other arm, making sure it's the correct way up to how I like it. Again, one and then two or three like so. So we're going to pop a couple of pins in. Like so. But then you must check that you're happy with the position before you start sewing. So I do this before I even thread my needle. So what I'm going to do is look at my bunny. Do they look even? And I also look at him from the side and from the other side. Now to me that's facing forward a little bit more than that one. So I'm going to alter that slightly. I'm going to put the back a little bit lower. Pop it like that. Do they look even? That needs to be a touch higher, I think, at the front. So you want them both maybe in the middle. So check you haven't got one much further forward or further back. So look at them that way, but then stand your bunny up and look at him from the front and look at him from all angles. You're aiming for even arms placed about the right same level, the same slant forward, and also about the same forward. You don't want this one kind of around here. You just want to make sure they're lovely and level, and that will give you a lovely finish. So looking at those, you don't always have to measure it and count everything. It's always best to do it by eye, I find, what looks aesthetically pleasing. Put that a little bit higher. The back, sometimes it doesn't look quite even at the back, but the most important is the front to me. But when you're looking at your bunny, does he look nice and cute? Look at that. That looks quite cute with his little arms. There we are. I think that's quite even. Look at that touch back. I do faff about with them, but to be fair, if you take your time now, it'll only take a minute and they'll look really cool. If you rush it and they're uneven, unpicking it is a bit of a pain, and it often can leave your sewing, leave your rabbit a bit marked, or it's awkward getting it off. So it's better to take the time and get it correct. And that only really took us a minute. So I'm going to thread one of them. So I'm going to show you sewing one of them on, and then I'm going to leave you to sew the other one on. Now there's lots of different ways you can do this. I'll show you the way I prefer. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. And what I'm going to do is I want to make my stitches hidden. So I'm going to go down next to it there, and I'm going to come up here. So I'm going to work my stitches into that, just right at the base of that nice edging, and then I'm going to go back in here a little bit away, and then I'm going to come out a up here. Now I am going through into the body with this, so don't just go into the arm, you need to be in the body. If you're not in the body when you've finished, the arm will just fall off. So I've gone up and down a couple of times. Now the reason I'm kind of going down and then coming up somewhere else is because you can't do them really close together when you're doing this, because you can't get the angle of the needle. So we're just going to go up and down a few times to make sure we've covered stitches in most of that top row. So it's going up and down, and we're going into the bunny and up through here. When you come out, try and come out near to the arm. You don't want to come out over here. If you do, you'd have to go back in and come up really close to where you're sewing. What you're trying to avoid is having lots of visible stitches. Now we've sewn the top on, I'm going to take the pins out. I'm going to lift the arm up and I'm going to sew under the arm. So here I'm going to sew under there, then a stitch in here, very like the head. We're doing a stitch underneath and then a stitch on top. And again, if it's for a little one, the arms are the type of thing that it'll get pulled around by. So what you need to do is maybe go up and down here a few times. Nothing to stop you going that way and then going all the way back. Give it a good pull, make sure it's nice and secure. You don't want it coming off later. Oh, I've got a bit of stuffing coming out there. So make sure we've gone all the way along. If you get a bit coming out, you can just pop it back in with your needle. And that's it. So we're just going to go up and down a couple of times to finish off, and then if you sew the other one, exactly the same. And mine's fell off, so I'm just going to pin it back on, pull that taut and cut, and we have one arm neatly sewn on, and the other one is going to be finished by itself, and we'll see you in a moment.